Buckle up guys, because it's one of the wildest survival experiences I've ever come across in anime. So, picture this, 4 high school girls, Asuka, Shion, Amatani, and Homare, suddenly find themselves stranded on a deserted island. And no, not like a tropical vacation spot. I'm talking remote, survival of the fittest kind of island. And here's where it gets really interesting, Homare. She's been through this before. Yep, this ain't her first time being stranded. While the others are freaking out, she's calm, composed, like she's ready to shoot an episode of Survivor, High School Edition. But to really understand what's going on, we get a flashback to 12 hours before all of this chaos began. So the girls were initially stuck on this ridiculously tiny island, like, so small that calling it an island is actually too generous. Imagine a raft made of sand barely big enough for 4 people. Yeah, that's where they were. Shion's the first to crack. She's dehydrated, desperate. I want water, she cries. Asuka points at the sea around them like, girl, there's water everywhere. But then Homare steps in, being the survival queen she is, and drops a fact bomb: don't drink seawater. It'll dehydrate you faster. And that's when things get kind of insane. Homare notices a bunch of small fish swimming nearby. Without hesitation, she snatches one up using just a stick, like some kind of jungle ninja, and what does she do? Oh no, she doesn't cook it. She wraps it in her shirt, squeezes it like a juice pouch, and drinks the blood straight from the fish. The other girls, their jaws are on the floor. I'm not kidding, actual horror in their eyes. She even offers them a sip like, want some? And obviously, they pass. I mean, who wouldn't? But Homare isn't just being weird. She's thinking, if flying fish are here, that means there might be land nearby. Only problem, nothing but horizon in every direction. And Shion's losing it. She dramatically flops on the sand, crying about how she's dying of thirst. So Homare tells her, lie on your back, open your mouth. And honestly, we don't even need to say what happens next, right? Yeah, you get the idea. Noon comes and goes. No rescue team, nothing. Just ocean, sun, and desperation. And finally, the next day, salvation. The girls spot actual land not far off. They all dive into the ocean, hearts pounding, but then comes the twist. Tiger sharks, no joke, giant, terrifying predators swimming right toward them. It's a full-blown life or death race. They paddle like their lives depend on it, because they do. Heart racing, muscles screaming, and somehow, by a miracle, they all make it to shore. Amatani, she collapses into tears. I don't blame her. I'd be sobbing too. And just like that, the flashback ends, and the real story begins on the island. So now we're back in the present. The girls are finally on this bigger island. They're exhausted, traumatized, but alive. And immediately, the questions start flying. Asuka turns to Homare and asks, wait, what do you mean this isn't your first time stranded? And Homare, she's like, oh yeah, I've been through worse. My dad used to take me on these wild survival trips. Getting stranded was practically family bonding time. Like, what kind of dad does that? Anyway, Homare instantly goes into leader mode. First priority, water. She instructs the group to gather any empty bottles they can find scattered on the beach, from plastic bottles to old soda cans. If it could hold water, they grabbed it. They were gonna need every drop. But then, Amatani starts feeling dizzy. She's pale, weak, dehydrated. Homare checks her, stays calm, and gives some strange advice. Collect spit in your mouth and breathe through your nose. Amatani just stares at her and says, I don't have any spit left. So what does Homare do? Yup, she kisses her. Full-on mouth-to-mouth survival-style spit donation. And the other 2 girls, standing there frozen, jaws dropped. You could hear their thoughts. Did that really just happen? But hey, desperate times call for, well, awkward solutions. With Amatani stable, sort of, Homare teams up with Asuka to explore the jungle in search of fresh water. Shion and Amatani stay behind at the beach to signal any rescuers, if any even exist. Now, quick note, Asuka. She's the type who'd rather sit in an air-conditioned cafe than hike through muddy terrain. So this jungle trek, she's not built for it. She's whining every 5 steps, can we slow down? Can we take a break? My feet hurt. Meanwhile, Homare is locked in. Focused. She spots some damp soil and drops to her knees, digging with a stick like a woman on a mission. Finally, she finds it, wet, spongy earth. She scoops it into a cloth, tells Asuka to open her mouth, and starts squeezing out moisture. And Asuka's just sipping away, until she realizes, wait, this cloth is a sock. Homare's sock. Cue the look of horror. She's like, at least let me drink from my own socks next time. I mean, can you blame her? Meanwhile, back on the beach, Shion is lying dramatically in the sand, looking up at the sky like she's waiting to ascend to the heavens. She turns to Amatani and goes, if I die, and I somehow manage to pee before that, drink it. I want you to live. And Amatani, bless her soul, just nods seriously and says, I will. This is the kind of unhinged friendship energy you only get when you're truly desperate. Homare and Asuka return just in time for the next crisis, hunger. The girls gather around Homare like little ducklings begging their mama for food. And Homare, being the queen of wilderness that she is, dives into every terrain, the water, the mud, the trees. She comes back with, wait for it, cockroaches, cicadas, dead flies. And the worst part, they actually eat them, like, no hesitation. They do rock paper scissors to decide who eats what. That's dinner, folks. Bon appetit. The next day, Homare starts building them a real shelter, something to protect them from the weather. And then, Asuka starts whining again. I'm hungry. She knows full well that if she says that, Homare will go and find food for her. But Shion and Amatani aren't having it. They're working hard while Asuka's lounging around like it's a spa day. They call her out, hard. Tension rising. So to make herself useful or pretend to, Asuka goes into the jungle with Homare to find shelter materials. And what does she do instead? She finds a random root, holds it up and shouts, I found a potato. Homare squints at it like, that's not a potato. That's a radish or worse. They argue. Asuka flops to the ground and says, you handle it. I'm resting here. Peak laziness. Anyway, despite her, the shelter gets done. A decent roof, finally. Shion immediately says, cool. Now let's build a shower. A shower. Girl, we're on a survival island, not at a luxury resort. But her logic, what if the rescue team comes and we stink? You know what? Fair point. Homare and Amatani set out to find food again. This time, they score some crabs and shellfish. Amatani finds a crab and is like, ah, how cute. And Homare, no mercy, snaps it up, cracks it open, and munches it like a protein bar. Eat, she tells her. Survival 101. To cook, they make fire using a bottle lens and sunlight. It works. They actually manage a decent meal that night. For a second, just a second, things feel normal. But peace doesn't last long. The next day, Homare finds squirrel footprints. Time to hunt. She teaches the girls how to build a trap, string tied to a tree branch, bait on the ground. But while setting things up, Asuka randomly catches a huge frog with her pants. Don't ask how. Just, don't. But she can't bring herself to kill it. She secretly lets it go and lies to the others. Homare isn't happy. Eventually, they realize there are rabbits on the island too. So they double down, set the traps, and Asuka. She's so excited she literally sings a song about rabbit meat. One actually gets caught, but now comes the hard part, killing it. Amatani tries first. She sobs and swings her stick, but misses every time. It's heartbreaking. Eventually, Asuka takes the stick, and ends it. Silence. The mood is heavy. They skin the rabbit with handmade stone knives, cook it, and for the first time in days, they eat real meat. And for a moment, they smile. So after the rabbit ordeal, the girls decide, let's explore this island a bit more. Who knows what we might find? But of course, someone has to stay at base. So Asuka and Shion agree to hold down the fort, while Homare and Amatani head off, trekking through the thick trees, kicking through leaves, and munching on whatever edible plants they can find along the way. It's peaceful, until night falls. Darkness swallows the forest. The trees turn from shelter to shadows. So the two girls build a small fire and settle under some branches, just trying to get through the night. Then, crack, a sound in the distance. A figure moving in the dark. Homare grabs a stick. Amatani freezes. Turns out, it's just Asuka and Shion. Seriously. The girls who were supposed to be guarding camp got scared of the dark and followed them through the jungle like little scared puppies. You cannot make this up. Homare just sighs and starts building another makeshift shelter, no questions asked. Next morning, crabs and wild leaves for breakfast. Gourmet. While exploring further, they find something totally unexpected, a house. Or at least, what's left of one. It's abandoned. No roof, no door, just cracked walls and broken memories. But still, it's something. And then Homare finds a pair of scissors in the rubble and gets so excited you'd think she found a treasure chest. I mean, hey, on a survival island, scissors are basically treasure. From the house, they climb to a high point on the island and then, Homare spots it, smoke coming from the forest. Instant panic. All four girls are together. So, who's making the smoke? They race toward it, breath caught in their throats, and what do they find? A hot spring. Not a person, not a signal fire, just literal geothermal luxury in the middle of the wilderness. And you bet they all jump in. Soaking in hot water for the first time in days. Dirt washing off, muscles relaxing. For once, they actually feel human again. The next day starts with gray skies and heavy clouds. Then, boom, rain pours down like buckets. The girls hide under their bamboo shelter, but the roof is leaking, the fire is soaked, and everything's wet. They're freezing, damp, and miserable. But guess who's thriving? Asuka. This girl just runs out into the rain like it's a music video and starts dancing in the storm. She even jumps in the ocean like, I'm soaked. And then, out of nowhere, lightning strikes. She collapses. The other girls scream. Homare rushes out, drags her unconscious body back to shelter, completely terrified. Thankfully, she wakes up. But then, and I swear I'm not joking, the next day she does it again. Goes back into the ocean, and this time, she gets zapped by jellyfish. Like, stung everywhere. At this point, Asuka's becoming a lightning rod for danger. While Homare crafts a knife handle using glue she made from natural materials, literal wilderness crafting, the others are struggling. Asuka gets a nasty sunburn on her neck. Panic sets in. The girls start obsessing over their looks. We're gonna turn into swamp monsters. They cry. Shion, always full of demands, goes, Homare, can you make us a sunblock? And guess what? She does. She boils crushed seaweed, lets it cool, and boom, natural sunscreen. But of course, Shion accidentally spills it all over Homare. Typical. The next day, Shion asks for, wait for it, perfume. Girl, we're not at a Sephora. We are surviving, but hey, gotta respect the priorities. One day, a bunch of bamboo washes up on shore. Jackpot. They use it to build a real roof this time, sturdy, rainproof, cozy. But while gathering supplies, Shion gets stung by a bee. And Homare, instead of panicking, she has a thought. Where there are bees, there's honey. So they set off, smoke out a beehive, brave the angry swarm, and they do it, they get honey. For the first time, the girls taste sweetness again. After bugs, fish blood, and sock water. It tastes like heaven. Then, it happens. Shion wants to help. She feels useless. So she volunteers to go fishing with Homare. Homare dives into the water. Shion stays on the makeshift raft, fishing line in hand. But when Homare resurfaces, Shion is gone. No raft, no sign of her, just endless ocean. Homare screams her name over and over, eyes wide with panic. The other girls come running. They're all searching, yelling into the wind. And we cut to Shion, alone, drifting on the open sea. The waves crashing around her. Tears in her eyes. She finally sees land, a rocky, lifeless island. She crawls onto it, dehydrated, sunburned, and utterly broken. She finds a cave, hoping for water, but it's just filled with bats and contaminated puddles. She slumps against a rock, crying. Hopeless. Back in the sea, Homare builds a second raft, alone, and sails out to find her. She's not giving up. Eventually, Homare finds her. Shion is barely conscious. Don't give up, Homare says, kneeling beside her like an angel descending from the clouds. Shion sobs and clings to her. I'm so thirsty, she whispers. I need water. But here's the problem, the only water they have. It's contaminated, poisoned by bad droppings. And here's where Homare does the wildest thing in this entire story. She tells Shion, drinking it through your mouth. You'll die, but there's one way. And then she says it, we can absorb it, from the other end. I know. And Shion, she's like, no way. But she's too weak to argue. Homare says, trust me. And, yeah, they do it. Homare takes the water in her mouth and transfers it. Then Shion returns the favor. It's insane, gross, but also genius. And honestly, it works. Shion looks at her and says, let's never speak of this again. And Homare nods. Secret sealed. They finally spot their home island and paddle back. When they arrive, everyone runs to them, crying, hugging, overjoyed. It's the happiest moment of the whole story. Asuka, confused, asks, "Wait, Homare didn't bring any water. So how did you two survive?" Shion grabs Homare's mouth before she can spill the tea. "It was spirit and determination," she says, smiling awkwardly. That night, they all sleep peacefully, together, warm, and safe. And that is where the story ends. 4 girls, 1 wild survival journey, from eating bugs to crafting tools, to butthole hydration techniques. So, tell me in the comments, which moment had you going, "There's no way that just happened." And if you enjoyed this insane story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out the full anime recap playlist I made just for you. I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe out there. Bye.